Gentleman from New York is recognized for 3 minutes.
Thank you, Chairman. Madam Speaker, I rise in support of overriding the presidential veto of H.J. Res. 42, disapproving the action of the District of Columbia Council and approving the Comprehensive Policing and Justice Reform Amendment Act of 2022. Democrat politicians in cities like New York and D.C. have continuously fed anti-police sentiment that endangers our officers and makes it harder for them to do their jobs. Policies like those in D.C.'s deeply misguided police reform law only empower criminals at the expense of our men and women in blue. In fact, since these policies were enacted, more than 1,000 officers have left the D.C.'s police force. Dedicated public servants are resigning in record numbers due to the current policing environment, and very few willing to take their place. That means fewer officers to combat rising crime. This has become a public safety crisis. I was proud to join with Congressman Clyde to offer our joint resolution to disapprove the D.C. law, which went on to gain a majority of support in both the House and Senate, bipartisan majorities in both the House and Senate. Congress sent a clear message that enough is enough. We will not stand by while our law enforcement officers are vilified and handcuffed by pro-criminal, anti-cop legislation. With his veto, President Biden showed his disregard not only for law enforcement but also for the American people whose duly elected representatives voted to block this harmful D.C. legislation. I urge my colleagues on both sides of the aisle to vote in favor of the override, to show our brave men and women in law enforcement that we have their backs, and to reject the President's attempt to undermine the will of Congress and the people we represent. Thank you. I yield back.